What's up, guys? Despite the fact that black has literally all of their pieces, king, queen, both rooks, both knights, both bishops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pawns, white is the one trying to play for a win with only the king and the knight. Now, of course, black's pieces aren't in the greatest position, but still, it's pretty amazing that you can win a game with only your knight like this. So this is a puzzle by Otto Blathy. I think that's how you pronounce that. One of my subscribers mentioned his name, and so I went and looked up some of his puzzles, and they're actually really interesting. So there's two I think that I'll probably show on the channel. This is the first one. But like I said, it's white to play and win. So what I'm going to do is give you guys a chance to pause the video, think through what do you think the technique is to win and how does that work. And once you think you've figured that out, we'll go ahead and talk about the solution. All right, well, if you had a chance to look through that, the first thing to point out is that we have to be pretty much putting black in check almost every move, because if we don't, the queen could come over and put us in check, or black could potentially push a pawn, maybe create an escape route over here, move a rook to create an escape route like this. A lot of options that black has if we don't do something right away. So if you look at the two checks, obviously this one is no good because the bishop would just take us. So we have to play knight f4 check, forces the king here. Now there's two checks that we could play, but only one of them actually works. And so this is not super easy to see, but I'll give you guys another second if you want to pause and think through which one should we play and why. All right, well, the correct move is to go to e6. Now, of course, it's forking the king and queen, so you probably would have guessed that one if you had to guess anyway, but there's actually a specific reason why we don't want to take this pawn, which we'll come back to later and talk about that. But for now, let's go ahead and move forward. So knight e6 is the correct move. King has to go here, only move. And now we can take the queen again with check. And remember, black's pawns are moving this way, so they can't take our knight, right? So king has to go back here. Now you can probably guess the next move. We grab the bishop over here, again with check. And again, remember, pawns can't go backwards, so our knight is fine. King has to go over here. And we could take the rook, but then our party's over. We lose our knight and we lose the game, so we don't want to do that. We have to go back here. Again, king has to go over. And again, we go back here. Again, king has to go over. And again, we go here with check. Now, after king here, again, we have to make kind of a tricky decision, and so I'll let you guys stop here. I would recommend pausing, thinking through how do you think white can finish off the game from this point. All right, if you were tempted to play knight takes e6 check, you would be incorrect, and actually if you take this, then the only thing you can do from here is get a draw. You have to just go back and forth and continue to just go to these squares and put black in check. You lose your winning chances by capturing that pawn, and here's why. The only way that you can win this is by using your king to prevent black's king from escaping, right? Because we want to use the knight to deliver checkmate, not just check. Right now, whenever we move the knight, it opens up this square for black's king. So we have to take that away with our king either here or here, and it turns out that only one of those is correct. And the correct move is kind of a little bit unintuitive. It's actually right here, because you're allowing this check on your king, but after that, then we go here, and notice how, again, black's king is trapped, right? We're controlling that, and now our knight is ready to deliver the checkmate. Now, there's one tricky line here. What happens on bishop f6 check? What should we play here? Well, taking the bishop is a huge mistake because it allows the king to escape, and now you just lose. You actually have to play king e6. And you remember, the point is we're not allowing the king to escape on this d6 square. But black isn't out of tricks yet. They can play knight d8 check again, and now you should probably be able to find this one, but king to d7, again, just getting out of the checks, but continuing to keep that square covered. And now we can finally say that this is checkmate. There's no way that black can stop it. Even if they move this rook, like let's just say here, it's still checkmate because the knight controls that square as well, right? And at this point, we can kind of understand why earlier, remember I kept saying taking this pawn was bad. If you imagine this position and this pawn being gone, black could simply push this forward and create an escape route for their king, right? So because that's not an option, they just can't stop this checkmate. So actually, I'll just show you that real quick. If we go back here, let's actually right here, let's say we took the pawn, okay? And then we tried to do the same thing. Well, now, and actually an even easier move for black is just to play d3 check. But even if they followed sort of the same approach that we looked at before, king comes up, they put us in check, we go here, they put us in check, we go here. Now, this is what I was talking about. They can just play d3, right? And even though we can take it, the square is open. Okay, so we needed to leave the pawn there because it was kind of blocking up black's pieces. And so that was a key factor in that position. But pretty fascinating stuff. I mean, look at how this knight just jumped all over the place, basically captured the queen, captured the bishop, and then delivered the final checkmate. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. And like I said, we'll be looking at one more of these real soon. But I'll talk to you guys next time.